بسم الله الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم. اللهم بارك على محمد وعلى آل محمد كما باركت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم في العالمين إنك حميد مجيد. Inshallah ta'ala, tonight we will be discussing Surah al-Kahf, inshallah, as we get closer to the end of the surah. Beautiful surah. I hope we all, by understanding it now, we love it more, and we have an idea when we read it on Fridays. You know, it's recommended to read this surah on Fridays, so we have an idea of what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about. Last time we were talking about Dhul Qarnain and his 3 trips. The first trip, he went to the very west, and the second trip, no, that's Khidr with Musa. Dhul Qarnain, and we said Dhul Qarnain is known to be one of the greatest kings of his time. He had, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him everything. As Allah says, أَتَيْنَاهُ مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ سَبَبًا. Allah gave him knowledge, technology, army, power, wisdom, everything. And we said that فَأَتْبَعَ سَبَبًا, he was able to utilize these gifts and to use them the right way. And we explained, and this is, I think, important for us to repeat, that normally any country in the history of man that reaches the power of being number one in power, and there is no other country in the world that can match this country in power, normally this country starts looking for world domination. It starts attacking other countries. It starts, and you can look at what France did in the past in Africa. They killed million people. Imagine, million people they killed, at least. And they enslaved a huge number. So anytime any country in the world becomes a solo power that is unmatched, that's always what happens. What's his name? Hitler did the same thing. So, Jazakallah khair, Brother Abdul Fattah. And we said that the word jihad, this is the word that everybody is scared of because they do not understand what it means. Jihad in the Islamic Sharia, it means the rules and regulations that stop the Muslim country from doing that in case it becomes the most powerful country in the world. So when the Muslims, and they were in the past, Muslims were the most powerful country in the world, but because of that jihad concept, it will put limitations on how far they can go in terms of conquering the other countries. So we as Muslims, if we had the highest power, then the world will be the happiest, because we will not go around and force everyone to become followers to us. We will not use other countries. We will not enslave people. Our goal is to spread the word of Allah. So if we are the most powerful country because of that term, concept, jihad, then we can go out and fight those who do not let us spread the La ilaha illallah. If they accept it, we leave them. We do not interfere with them. We do not change who is in leadership. We do not do anything. And this is why when people talk about this word, the word jihad, it's not a bad word in any way. I know, because people do not understand it. And I told you the story of Al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah radiyallahu anh, when he placed a siege to one of the countries in Europe, one of the cities in Europe. Normally in Islam, the rule is to give the people 3 days before attacking them. You want to become Muslim, you want to surrender, or you want to fight. So Al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah radiyallahu anh, he's a companion, he forgot to give them 3 days, and he attacked them, and he conquered the city in a short time. The leader of that city sent a letter to Umar ibn al-Khattab, the Khalifa of the Muslims, and he told him, your commander did not follow your directions. He did not give us 3 days. Now, in any other scenario in the whole entire world, the Khalifa will say, or the one in charge will say, it's already done now. Right? The battle is finished, and he conquered the city, He sent a letter to Al-Mughira ibn Shu'bah. He said, get out of the city. Imagine, after everything is done, get out of the city and give them 3 days and then attack them again. That's unheard of. That never happened before in history. It doesn't happen this way. You already won. You already have control over the city. He said, return the city to them. Give them everything back. Get out, and then give them 3 days, and then attack them after that. Imagine. When he did this, the whole city became Muslim. Because nobody does that. Nobody will do that ever. And this is the beauty of jihad in Islam. Jihad tells you there are rules and regulations. You can't just go attack other countries to force yourself on them and to make them your followers and to subjugate their people and take their resources and enslave them. The only country, by the way, in the history of man that did not seek world dominance when they were very powerful were the Muslims. Our goal is for you to say La ilaha illallah. If you say La ilaha illallah, we'll leave you alone. We will not even interfere with your politics. Run your country the way you want. Just let the people be Muslims. If you say no, then we ask you to pay us jizyah, and we promise not to fight you. If you say no for that too, and you don't want your people to see the beauty of Islam, then we have to fight you in that situation. So the reason for us to fight anyone is because of La ilaha illallah, not because we want to take people's money, and not because we want to conquer. And Dhul Qarnain is the same thing. He was a king, unmatched power, the most powerful king in the world. And we said there were 4 greatest kings in the history. Dhul Qarnain, Sulaiman alayhi salam, and Namrud, and some say Alexander, but which is not the same as Dhul Qarnain. But anyhow, Dhul Qarnain being this powerful king, and it's not like he was sitting in his castle doing nothing. He did 3 trips, one to the west, one to the east, and now we are talking about the third one to the people between the Saddain. We're going to talk about them, inshallah. But when he went to the west, he told them, you become Muslim, I leave you alone. I did not come here to conquer your land. When he went to the east, he did the same thing. So that is the concept of jihad in Islam. We want the people to say La ilaha illallah. Once they do that, we leave them alone. They do whatever they want in their land. We don't take their money. We don't hurt them in any way. Unlike all the major powers in history, when Hitler became the most powerful, you know how many people he killed. Even the United States, when they were, I don't know if they are today, but I don't think they are the most powerful country anymore. Now we have China and Russia and other countries. They did the same thing. They were seeking the world dominance. So that's always the rule. The only country that does not care about world dominance is the Muslim country. We care about La ilaha illallah. And that is the beauty of Islam. We should not be ashamed. We should be proud. Bismillah.
What happens to the idea of no coercion in religion? You said they're telling them you have to convert or you have to pay a fee. So isn't that coercion?
No, so here is the thing. First, we are not forcing anyone to be Muslim, but we ask the government to let us to speak to the people about Islam. So this is the main thing. Let us speak to your people about Islam. If they do not agree, because people have the right to hear about Islam, it's our goal to save people from hellfire as much as we can. Then that will initiate war. Now, if they do agree, then we as Muslims will promise them that we are not going to fight them again, that we're going to go talk to their people about Islam. Now, normally, the normal thing that happens when you talk to people about Islam, people accept Islam. People normally accept Islam most of the time because Islam makes a lot of sense versus any other religion. So when that happens and the people accept Islam, the government itself should change because everybody is a Muslim except for the government. So as a way of kind of like pressuring them, we make them pay the jizyah. Hopefully they will become Muslim. It's a way of basically telling them we want you really to be a Muslim, but we're not going to force you. So if you don't want, we're not going to fight you anymore, but you have to pay jizya instead. That jizya is kind of like, for them, they are admitting that they cannot win against us. We have a superior power. That's what the jizya, and it's, by the way, is a very small amount of money. It's more symbolic than really a real thing. No, it's less than zakat even. It's less than zakat. It's about 1%. So it's a very small amount. So it's a way of them admitting that we are the superior power and we are not going to fight them. We basically are going to give them peace for this small amount of money. Compare that to I have a big country, strong country, and I'm just going to invade your country and make you by force follow me, versus, okay, stay the way you are, just pay me a small amount of money. I am the superior power here. And with this small amount of money, I promise you peace. That's basically it.
Okay.
Inshallah. Yes, Sister
Sheikh,
Sama.
I have a question regarding this. I know that in Surah al-Kafirun, it says, Lakum deenukum waliyadeen, basically to leave them alone with, they're not accepting it, so just let them be. But then on this, what you're referring to is they are telling them you must abide by us, must be Muslim or pay jizyah or be ready to go to the war. So aren't they two different things, or they are two different events or two different situations, or what is it?
Just like I was saying now, see, when that happens, we are assuming that the Muslims have the superior power in the region, right? And we just said, any country in the world, when they have the superior power, normally what they do, and history proves that, they attack the nearby countries, and by force, they either enslave them or use them or take their resources. That's what happens. That's what every country in the world does when it is the superior power in the region. Now, Muslims are different. When we are the superior power in the region, we want the countries around us to be Muslims like us. If they refused, then you admit that I am the superior power by giving me this small amount of money, and I will promise you peace. This is the jizyah. It's a way of, basically, it's just a way of humiliating, if you want to put it this way. And instead of attacking them and by force taking their resources and enslaving them like other countries would do, we're just going to ask for a small amount. Basically, they are admitting that we are more powerful than them. Then when the people of their country will ask, why are we paying jizya to the Muslims? They will say, because they are more powerful than us. Then they will look into Islam. At the end, the goal is for them to be Muslims.
But what I'm trying to understand is in Surah al-Kafirun, at that point, were they not strong enough, or why were they told to let them be?
No, at that time when the surah was revealed, the Muslims were still in the early days of Mecca. They didn't even have a country of their own.
Okay.
Yeah, the Muslims did not have, this is the answer for the Kafirun trying to convince the Prophet ﷺ to join their religion. That was the other way around. The Kafirun had the power at that time.
Okay. So because it said that you will not, accept my religion, and I'm not going to accept your religion. That's what Surah al-Kafirun is about, right? That and you do what you're doing, and I'll do what I'm doing.
That's when the Muslims were still, again, in the beginning stages. They weren't even given the permission to fight even. They were being oppressed and attacked, and they couldn't even retaliate. So they came to the Prophet ﷺ and they said, how about we worship your God 1 year, and you worship our gods, our idols 1 year. And this surah was the answer to that request. No, you have your religion, I have my religion. We're making a separation between the religions.
Okay.
Yes, inshallah. But if the Muslim country had power, a superior power, then we want everyone to know that we are superior, yet we're not going to attack you or hurt you or take your money. If we want, we can. But we're going to make you pay a small amount, which is jizya, as a price for peace. So that's basically it. Okay. Let's continue, or let's, inshallah, get started with Surah al-Kahf now. We explained the first trip. Dhul Qarnain went all the way to the west, and then he went all the way to the east, and now he arrived at this place. I think that's where we stopped. Please correct me if I am not mistaken. we arrived at the ayah where Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says حتى إذا بلغ بين السدين وجد من دونهما قوما لا يكادون يفقهون قولا. When he arrived in this area between the two dams or between the two mountains, it was like a valley area which is not identified today. There are many theories. Some say it's in Siberia, some say it's around that area, but really nothing 100%. When Dhul Qarnain arrived in this area, he found those people, لا يكادون يفقهون قولا. They almost cannot understand a single word he's saying. Now we have two opinions about this. Either their language was very rare and ancient and difficult, and some of the mufassirin, he needed 3 or 4 translators, not one, which means translator A translates from those people language to translator B, and translator B translated to another one, wa alaykum salam, and then the third to the fourth, and then the fourth translates to Dhul Qarnain. Imagine, for every sentence, you have to go through this chain. And again, that shows you it will be much easier for him, being the superior power, instead of going back and forth in this difficult type of communication, just attack them. Just attack them and subdue them by force, like what everybody else would do. But instead, he went the difficult route. I'm going to talk to them. So this is one opinion, and it seems to be the majority of scholars. لا يكادون يفقهون قولا. They did not understand the word which he said. The other opinion, they were in so much distress, they don't want to talk even. You know, when you are going through some difficult time or there is some worry on your head, I don't want to talk. Just don't talk to me. So لا يكادون يفقهون قولا means don't say a single, I don't want to talk to you. I have already some concern, something that is worrying me. So this is a second opinion, that they were under a lot of distress. Anyway, قالوا يا ذا القرنين. They said, oh, Dhul Qarnain, إن يأجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض. Indeed, Yajuj and Majuj have, and the word mufsidoon, wa alaykum as-salam, is a noun, which means that's their attribute. It's not afsadu or yufsidu. It's not a verb. It's a noun. And a noun means it's always like that. Those people, Yajuj and Majuj, all they do is they cause corruption. They destroy everything they see. They burn, and the word Yajuj and Majuj comes from fire. You know, this psychological disease called pyromania or pyro something, somebody who likes to set things on fire. That's what they do. Whatever they see, they set it on fire. And they enjoy doing that. And they like destroying stuff. So they are very evil people, basically. And we know they are the second or the third major sign of the Day of Judgment. So they are coming at the end of time. Yajuj and Majuj will be coming first, Dajjal, and send Isa, second Isa, who will come and kill Dajjal. And then as soon as Isa kills Dajjal, Yajuj and Majuj will break out, and they will destroy whatever is left of this world. So those people, they said to Dhul Qarnain, إن يجوج ومأجوج مفسدون في الأرض. So those two tribes, Yajuj and Majuj, they always see corruption, they destroy the land, and it said in some of the stories that they used to attack once or twice a year to take the crops and destroy the place, and the people spend the rest of the year rebuilding and doing this again, and then Yajuj and Majuj come again. So they said, those people to Dhul Qarnain, فهل نجعل لك خرجا على أن تجعل بيننا وبينهم سدا. Can we pay you some money so you will build a dam between them and us? Now here we have a few points to mention about this sentence. The concept of I'm doing this for the sake of Allah is always a rare concept, past, present, and future. Even today, if somebody comes and he says, you know what, I'm going to help you, the first thing that comes to mind, how much you want me to pay you for this service? You wouldn't say, you wouldn't even think that he's doing it for the sake of Allah. Even among Muslims, by the way, I'm not talking about non-Muslims. Even when a Muslim helps you, of course, there are exceptions. There are always good people. But in generally, if a Muslim comes and he does, you know what, he says, you know what, I'm going to do something for you, I'm going to help you out. The first thing that comes to your mind, even if he was a Muslim, how much money you want? For you to think that he might be helping me for the sake of Allah, this is naive at our time. I hired a Muslim brother to do some work for me at home. I told you the story before. Every time I ask him, how much you going to charge me? Oh, don't worry, brother. Don't worry. We are brothers. Money do not matter. The main thing is that we are brothers. Yeah. Once he finished the work, he gave me the bill. I almost had a heart attack. No, you're not brothers anymore. What is this? So that was a trick. And that's why from now on, when I hire somebody, I ask him about the money before he does the job. And I don't believe him. He says, no, we love each other and money don't matter. All this is just nothing. It doesn't mean anything. So the concept of I'm doing this for the sake of Allah, this is a rare commodity from the past. But there are still always good people. So when Dhul Qarnain came, the first thing those people said, we're going to give you money. Don't worry. We want you to build a dam between us and them, the Yajuj and Majuj. Now, so they never thought that Dhul Qarnain will help them for the sake of Allah, and he will not ask money. So this is the first point. The second point, we said Dhul Qarnain is powerful. He has a big army. Why did they not say, let's go attack them? Wouldn't that be better? Let's go defeat them and kick them out of this place. Why do they want to be on the defense, on the defensive and build a dam which keeps Yajuj and Majuj away?
Because they know they're very powerful.
Well, you can never know until you try, right?
Mm-hmm.
But actually, your answer is correct, by the way.
Good.
This is a very important point. I hope everybody pays attention to this. Surah al-Kahf teaches us a beautiful lesson in life. Every situation has a different, what is the best thing to do now? It's not like one size fits all. That's not how it is. Surah al-Kahf gives us different stories where the best thing to do is different. The first story in Surah al-Kahf teaches us that in certain situations, run away to preserve your religion. Confrontation is not the right thing to do. The second story tells us, and I'm trying to explain a very important point. Some people think there is always one answer to any possible situation, and there's always confrontation. That's not right. The second story, two friends, one of them had the two gardens and the other one did not have it. We talked about the dialogue they had. The friend here used the confrontation to give advice to the other friend, but he didn't fight with him. He was nice. He tried to be logical, to make sense, telling him that Allah gave you the two gardens. Allah will bring you back on the day of judgment. Don't do this. He was nice. He gave advice. So he was a little in confrontation, but not to a point of fighting, because that's not the right thing to do. So the first story teaches us you might have to run away to preserve your religion. The second story teaches us you might be in a situation where you can give advice. Just speak the truth. The third story, Khidr and Musa, it teaches us in certain situations we have to be proactive. Al-Khidr did things to prevent things from happening. He was proactive. He did stuff. Of course, Musa a.s. did not understand because he did not have the knowledge. Allah did not give him that knowledge which Allah gave Al-Khidr. But the third story teaches us that certain situations you have to read the future and try to do something. Like, for example, at our time, we can see what the future is bringing. This assalamu alaikum, this LGBTQ and the atheism and this worldwide attack on religions. We want to preserve our religion. And maybe now it's too strong for us to confront it. So maybe we want to be like Surah al-Kahf. We want to be like the people of the youth, preserve our religion, preserve our families, to stay away from this. We can't attack it now because it's strong now, but it's not going to stay strong forever. It's a fashion. You know how every fashion goes up and down. In a little bit, inshallah, it will go down. But now the best thing to do is to preserve ourselves and our family from these things. So the fourth story now, Dhul Qarnain against Yajuj and Majuj. We can fight them, or we can build the dam and preserve ourselves, just like the youth who took shelter in the cave. We're going to take shelter behind the dam, behind the wall. At the end of time, which I believe, wallahu alam, can happen in the next 10, 15 years, I'm pretty sure that either our children, inshallah, or their children, the next generation, will see a Dajjal. I am almost sure, because all these signs happening around us, almost 100%. Maybe next 10, 15, maximum 20 years. Wallahu alam. So we studied these, the major signs of the Day of Judgment. The first one will be Dajjal. And Dajjal will come out, will be a big fitna, and he will cause a lot of destruction.
Thought the first
then-
thing would be Mahdi, no?
Mahdi is not a major sign.
Oh,
Dajjal is, there are 10 major signs, and Mahdi is not one major sign. So Dajjal will come out, and that's when Al-Mahdi will appear. And then the second major sign will be Isa alayhi salam descending on Damascus. And then Isa will meet Al-Mahdi, and they will unite the Muslims against Dajjal. And the Muslims will win. As soon as, so see here, the solution was confrontation. Isa versus Dajjal, the right thing to do is to attack. We can win, and they will win, inshallah. Now, right after Dajjal is defeated, Yajuj and Majuj come out as the third major sign. That when Isa and his army, it will be a strong army, defeated at Dajjal, they hear that Yajuj and Majuj are coming. So the followers of Isa alayhi salam, they say, let's fight them. Let's be, again, in this confrontation, let's take that solution. Isa alayhi salam will quote a hadith of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. The hadith says, if Yajuj and Majuj, yarhamukallah, break out, do not fight them, you cannot defeat them. Find yourself a shelter and hide. Like, again, preserve your religion. So Isa will be quoting the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and they will hide in the mountain of Tur, as we know. So Dhul Qarnain, because of his knowledge, he knew, we said he had a lot of knowledge, Allah gave him a lot of knowledge, that Yajuj and Majuj cannot be defeated. So he did not fight them, not because they are a major sign, and I'm going to leave them to be a major sign. It will be great if he can just get rid of them. They're evil. And a man like a king like Dhul Qarnain, of course, will be great. He will be doing humanity a favor, because Yajuj and Majuj will destroy the world, literally. Yani, whatever they see, they will set it on fire. And there will be nothing stopping them. Nothing will stop them. So the reason why Dhul Qarnain will not fight them is the same as when Isa alayhi salam decided not to fight them. You cannot defeat them. And we said, as Muslims, we should be wise. Allah says in the Quran, وَلَا تُلْقُوا بِأَيْدِيكُمْ إِلَى التَّهْلُكَ. Do not throw yourself into destruction.